Hello everyone, this is Dr. Young, and in this video we're going to name some esters. Now remember that esters are a functional group where you have a carbonyl, so it's in the carbonyl family, but very specifically it's an O attached to some kind of R group. This is what you're looking for an ester. So we have a carbonyl with an O and an R, not an O and an H because that would make it a carboxylic acid, not an N because then it'd be an amide or an amide. So we're looking for an O and an R group coming off of that carbonyl. So let's look at how these are named here, right? The idea is you break the whole thing into two pieces. One, you have the carbon piece that's hanging off that oxygen, and then the parent always is the piece of the chain that has the carbonyl carbon on it. So what do I mean by that? If I take a look at this, right, here's my carbonyl, this is gonna be my parent. And that means the other piece here is gonna be the other thing, the thing that's attached to the oxygen as the substituent. All right, that's what I'm talking about here. And if you do your numbering, much like aldehydes and carboxylic acids, the carbonyl carbon here is always number 1. So I have a 5-carbon piece. Now, when you're talking about naming these things, right, I said that first you need to name the group that's attached to the oxygen as a substituent. So in my case, I have just a 1,2-carbon piece, so that's an ethyl. That's an ethyl. And then I put a space, and then I name the rest of the thing that's the parent here. Right, so if I name the thing that's the parent here, I have an ethyl, and then I have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-carbon piece. 5-carbon piece would be pent. So instead of pentane, right, it would be pentane, which is not what I'm going to do. I'm going to drop this E and change it to O8. This would be ethyl pentanoate. Ethyl pentanoate. And I do want to note there is a space here. There's a 2 separate words. It's ethyl space pentanoate. So that's what we name it, ethyl pentanoate. Let's take a look at this example up here. Over on the right-hand side, again, I have the carbonyl carbon. So that's my parent. Even though it's a shorter chain, that's important to notice. Even though it's a shorter chain, always the carbon that has the carbonyl on it, which is right here, right? That's your carbon number 1, and then you just go from there. And so in this case, the rest of the group, so all of this stuff out here, right, that's going to be the group that I put in front, the name that I put in front. So a 1, 2, 3, 4-carbon piece. So 4-carbon piece, that would be butyl. And then the rest of it is just a 2-piece, so that'd be ethanoate. So this would be butyl ethanoate. Butyl ethanoate. And again, just because butyl is longer doesn't mean you make that the parent and call this like a butanoate or anything like that. It's all about where that sp2 carbon is, where that carbonyl carbon is. That's always your carbon number 1. So right, make sure that your carbonyl carbon is always assigned carbon number 1. Let's look at some more examples. A relatively simple one here. Here it looks like I have a methyl group hanging off and 1, 2, 3 carbons. So this would be a methyl propanoate. Methyl propanoate, because this is carbons 1, 2, and 3. So, and I've got the methyl group coming off, so methyl propanoate. I'm going to make this one a little more complicated just to have it. Let's say there was a methyl group coming off here. Let's say it wasn't just a straight chain. The rules still apply here, right, where this is going to be my longest parent. And then I have my thing coming off of the oxygen. And then you just go ahead and name the substituents like you would normally, right? So here I have a methyl group coming off. If I look at this as carbons 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, so I have a methyl group coming off of my carbon 3, so that'd be a 3-methyl. And if I want to name this whole ester, I just start with the beginning. Always this group that is dangling off the O is always first. So this is an ethyl space, and then I'm going to name the parent chain with the substituent. So this would be ethyl 3-methyl. It looks like 6 carbons, so hexanoate. So this would be ethyl 3-methyl hexanoate to draw the rest of it, right? So if I did have a substituent there, I drew one in kind of afterwards there, but if I did have a substituent there, we know methyl, ethyl, propyl, bromo, whatever, you would name it with the parent stuff. So the thing dangling off the O is always first. There's a space. Name the rest of the molecule as you would name the molecule. I'll just do one more example. Here is my parent on that one. And then it looks like in this case, I've got a much larger group out here. So I've got a phenyl. And then I just name it accordingly, right? So I've got, let me go ahead and number this. Carbons 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if I was to name this whole thing, this would be phenyl, right? Because that's what this is. That's this, phenyl. Phenyl, and then 3-methyl butanoate is how we would name this sucker. So phenyl 3-methyl butanoate. Now that's basically how you name some relatively simple esters. If you have to do other things like, there may be a butene-O8 if there's an alkene in there, or maybe there's a hydroxyl somewhere. You just follow the same basic nomenclature rules, but here's how you name some relatively straightforward esters. So hopefully you feel a little bit more comfortable naming esters. If you have any questions or comments, you can leave them down below and study up, do lots of practice, and you should be good to go. Have a great day.